Hey, yeah, so this is going to be a commentary for the fourth chapter from my book, Metadimensional, uh, which is available on Kindle and for free to listen to as an audiobook on Google Play. And the links are in the description. Okay, so this chapter is both and neither. So I must admit that this chapter uh, might get confusing, uh, but the 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 reason this chapter is necessary is also confusing. Uh, we put ourselves in like a very weird spot. We we have to insist somehow. We have to insist that the substrate of reality has to be uh, uniform, like unified. That there was one element that is like what type of element that is uh, fundamental, and everything else comes from it. So we say either that everything is like we believe in physicalism, where everything is the process of physical processes, or we diverge into, or we go into like a spirituality where the only thing that matters is an experiential concern, such as how you feel, what you feel, what does it mean to you, meaning. And then when we thought about that problem, we came up with this thing that's called dualism, where the realms of the mind is completely separate from the realm of the physical, and we assume, okay, yeah, they're different, but they are separate, and they can exist independently, and that might be true, maybe, but that is not how how this is not our reality. Our reality is not one where experience is completely independent of non-experiential concerns. And what we learn from quantum field theory and what we know instinctively is that you cannot reduce reality to physical, objective descriptions, and the only reality we can understand is one when they merge, when they are both, we get two different aspects of reality that are separate, and they always come together. The experiential and the physical, they always come together, but they are always separate. This is how it is. It's not my choice. We made this problem worse, much worse, by using this term called consciousness, which which combines elements of both. In consciousness, you have experience, of course, but then you have things that are not in experience. And if they are not in experience, like, for example, memories you're not thinking about right now, or ideas you're not thinking about right now, or anything that is mental, that is not currently in your experience, not something you experience at the moment, at this moment. This has to be somehow maintained by something that is not experienced. And the regularity by which the world operates is far too complicated and comprehensive for your experience to be the thing that determines it in its entirety. You're just not doing that. You're not doing like the maintenance of the universe as you walk down the street with your dog. You just don't do that. You don't do this God, this work of like of a God maintaining the mechanics of the universe. So we put all that stuff, and we said we put that stuff that we definitely is not an experience, and we put it in this term consciousness. And then we ask, what about consciousness? Well, so the thing about the consciousness is, and then we get this kind of arguments such as like that everything is conscious, everything is consciousness, and to some extent that's true, because if you're saying that that reality consists of experience and the physical, and consciousness consists of experience and the physical, like the non-experiential, the objective. If it consists of both, then it's the same thing, right? Well, no, it's not the same thing. It's just an arbitrary slice of reality, consciousness. You're the collection of stuff that you acknowledge as affecting your experience and experience. Of course, there are things that you don't acknowledge affect your experience, and you don't count them in consciousness, even though you should maybe. Like, for example, you don't include in consciousness some kind of a quantum mechanical, or not quantum mechanical, or just a physical, astrophysical event happening very, very, like, billions of light years away from you. Like, they might affect your consciousness or your experience, like implicitly or through some kind of mediation, and you're not including it, or things that are very small, or some kind of biological stuff that you don't know about. So we created this problem that is called consciousness, that's just like an arbitrary slicing of reality to the things that we acknowledge are affecting our experience. And then we said that this might be fundamental, and then we put all our money on that assumption. And now, when we are trying to think of this separation between experience and the body and the physical, it's so confusing, because we are all bought into this like arbitrary slicing of reality into consciousness. And we make up like fears like panpsychism, where everything is conscious, which is like doubling down on this arbitrary slicing of reality. So you have to have both things. You have to have both the experiential and non-experiential to explain reality, and you have to then they will stay separate, and that's the only sensible approach. This chapter is just one step along the way to what comes out of that.